Hey guys, John Mark Dougan here, live from Moscow, Russia. So, I am here with the fabulous Russel Bentley, or Texas Donbass, and how are we going to introduce it? She wants to remain anonymous.
Svetochik. Позывной Svetochik.
Okay, we're just going to call her Svetochik.
Good name, Flower.
Okay, codename Flower. So, Jamie says this has to be BS. You would like to think so, but it's not. So, we're going to get into details about a tactical nuke that was intercepted by the Russian military. And these two individuals have more information about this. So, Tex, maybe you want to start?
Okay, first of all, thanks for having me, John. Great to see you here. Great to be back in Moscow. This is some really important information. The situation in Donbass and the Ukraine war remains very serious up to this day. And there are a lot of things that are going on that a lot of people don't know about. As you mentioned, we got some information from a reliable source, Spetsnaz Radveshka, like intelligence guy, on the way up here about why the Gostomel Airport was one of the first targets in the beginning of the Operation Z that was taken over by the VDV. Apparently there was an airplane there.
Well, hold on, because most people don't actually know what that is. So when was this?
Okay, this was in the end of February of this year.
Okay.
The beginning of the Operation Z, when the Russians finally actually did come in. Of course, the war started 8 years ago, but the Russians were not in actual, military formations here until the beginning of 2022. And one of their first targets that they took over was the Gostomel Airport.
Okay.
It was an airport that had military airplanes there, and one of them, we were told last night, had a dirty bomb, a nuclear weapon. It was on a plane called Miraz, which means dream in Ukrainian, and it was ready to go. That was one of the first things that the Russians took over to prevent the Ukrainians from using it. There's also very reliable information that at the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, that there were experiments going on that had nothing to do with generating power.
Okay.
They were doing experiments to make actual nuclear bombs, or at least dirty bombs. And so you got to think that that wasn't the only tactical nuke that the Ukrainians had, or that the Americans have brought in to Ukraine since, the thousands of tons of military aid that's been coming in over the last 8 months. The Ukrainians have absolutely no power to inspect or, say yes or no about what the Americans bring in. And so if the Americans wanted to have tactical nukes here, they would. It's really not realistic to think that they don't have other ones here. And of course, these wouldn't necessarily be to have, to use against the Russians. I mean, the first thing that they would do, as is one of their main techniques, their favorite thing is the false flag.
Right.
So they could detonate a small tactical nuke in Ukrainian-held territory, most probably in an area that had majority ethnic Russian civilians, and then blame it on the Russians.
Right.
And then after blaming it on the Russians, just like, as always,
what they were trying to do in Zaporozhye after Russia took control of it.
Yeah, exactly. Saying the Russians were bombing themselves and all that, and then so they set off a nuke on Ukrainian territory, say the Russians did it, and then of course, NATO and the U.S. especially would say, well, we have to respond in kind. So this is a major threat, not only to, the couple of 100,000 reserves that are, now being deployed. Those troop concentrations would be really fat targets for some tactical nukes. But also, of course, I'm certain that they would say that, we also have to hit the decision-making center of Russian military in occupied Ukraine, which is my hometown now, Donetsk. And
Right.
So it's a serious deal, and I mean, the best thing that Russia can do is to regain the initiative, as long as it appears to the world that Russia is winning conventionally. Then it doesn't make sense for Russia to use a tactical nuke. So if they tried to make a false flag while Russia is winning conventionally, then, intelligent people around the world, of course, a lot of idiots might still believe it, but intelligent people are going to say, well, why would they use a nuke if they're already winning conventionally? So, the point is that Russia must maintain the initiative. We must really, get on the ball here and start, making some major advances, not just defending, but advancing, so that the world knows that Russia has absolutely no reason to use anything other than conventional weapons.
Right. And, we've seen these false flag attacks before. We've seen several of them, in fact, recently.
It's their signature deal, bro.
The Nord Stream pipeline. We're 99.99% sure that this was absolutely an American plan. We have letters, we have radar confirmation, we have all sorts of evidence that points to the U.S. We have them admitting that they were going to do it. And they still blamed Russia. And
some idiots still believed it.
Lots of people do. They're still reporting. I just read an article like yesterday that said that the Russians blew up their pipeline. It's crazy. Now, flower. Svetochka. Oh, hold on. Your mic's off. Say it again.
Цветочек.
Yeah. Oh, Svetochik. Sorry. You have some confirmation of this as well through other channels, correct?
No, I told that we had our trip, and what Russell told it was from yesterday trip. I have a different story.
Yeah, okay. What's your different story?
So we have been doing humanitarian aid for years, and I am a member of volunteers chat in VK, where we discuss important information. And on the 9th of October, there was information published by the Army of DPR in VK group, and volunteers shared. Now I'm looking at this information, and I just can announce that I can translate from Russian into English. So
Okay, please do it.
this the post contains photographs showing the evidence of the stuff that Ukraines used against our guys. They threw it on positions, like not from the sky, but they shot from something. The containers with either chemicals or radiation. The direction of front line is Gorlovka direction, the Kuchayevsk direction, Zaporozhye direction. On the 9th of October 2025, about 22, sorry, about 4 p.m. And from these containers, something was leaking, and there was a white smoke coming out of these containers. And our guys who were on positions got either chemical or radiation, like poisoning, and they had symptoms, throwing up, irritation of their eyes, like could not see anything because it was dark in their eyes. Their joints were very painful. Their gums were like bleeding. Bleed from ears and nose. So these are the symptoms of radiation sickness. So the containers diameter, the length of a container is 40 centimeters. Russell can see now the photographs.
There's a photo of the containers?
Yes, because the guys took the pictures. And I am no Ukrainian. I can read it right from the picture. It's Товариство Укртехмаш, It's like the company, yeah, Ukrainian Technical Machines or something like that. The number of it, 041. Виготовлення 4-го, это получается квітень in Ukrainian. So it's like produced April 2000, not very correct, but maybe 17 the numbers. Not clear, the last ones. The weight of it, active, and there is, you can see the sign of radiation, right?
Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can she send this to my Telegram?
Sure, of course.
If she sends it to my Telegram, I can put it up on the screen for everybody.
It's in Telegram right now, or in VK right now.
Oh, it's in VK?
Yeah, it's in VK.
Hold on, guys. I'll pull this up on VContact for you. VK.
So, and the guys say that they did not throw it from drones, but shot from something. Our guys were evacuated to hospitals, and the diagnosis unfortunately confirmed. And the guys who were close to these things suffered a lot.
What would I look? What group is this?
This is Армия ДНР, Советы добровольцам. Армия ДНР. It's in Russian. Армия.
Me.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta find the E. Yeah.
So maybe it will be helpful for you if you look at
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's better. Hold on. Yeah. Armia. D. N. R.
Да, точно. Советские добровольцы.
Yeah. The 9th of October.
Here you go. Let's see, that's today. I'll go ahead and I'll share this page with you peeps. Give me a sec. By the way, if you haven't hit like and subscribe, make sure you do that now as I'm getting this on the screen. And hold on.
So this is the post, and then it was discussed in the chat between volunteers, and someone added late information that all the unit was in hospital later.
All right, so here we go. Here we got this on the screen. Let's see here. From the 9th. What's the date? I don't even know. That's
October
the 11th.
9th.
Yeah, it's a couple days more.
Yeah.
Down.
Why is the 13th here? Give me a sec, guys. I'm trying to find this on the screen for you.
Should be coming up here pretty quick.
Yeah. 10th. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there, guys. Just be patient.
But it was the 11th.
It was the 11th? I thought you said the 9th.
9th.
Oh, 9th. Keep going. Sorry.
By the way, I took some advice from you guys, from some of my subscribers saying I should reposition the cameras differently. I hope you like it. It gives you a really nice view of Russel Bentley here. I'll show you his beautiful face. There you go.
There you go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Right here. All right. So we'll get this on the screen. So here's the here's whatever the heck this happens to be. And you can see the the radiation symbol here. And I guess this is like a lot number. How much it weighs, so many kilograms.
I think this information should be sent to Minister of Defense of Russian Federation, because I've never heard anything about that.
Well, I'm sure they know it if the whole unit was
I don't know.
was in the hospital. But this was DPR soldiers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No, well, look, in the post they say direction. It's Горловское, Докучаевское, Запорожское направление. So, the direction of the front.
So Gorlovka, which is maybe
No, it's not the
50
city, but the direction, not the
Yeah.
Gorlovka itself, but we don't know where exactly, of course.
Here, and I'll translate this to English so you guys can actually read it, if it works. There we go. Whoops. Take that one word out. We know how those people like about them. Dropped several places on the front, about 16. Some liquid was oozing out of them and white smoke was coming out. Soldiers who received either chemical or radiation damage were taken to the hospital. Symptoms: nausea, vomiting, eye irritation, darkening in their eyes, joint aches, bleeding from the gums, ears, and nose. As if not the symptoms of acute radiation sickness. Clarification: containers with a length of about 40 centimeters. They were not dropped from the UAV, but fired from something. The affected fighters were evacuated to the relevant medical institutions. The diagnosis, unfortunately, was confirmed. Those who came close to it suffered. So,
If you read the comments, so one person asked that we should find out where this Ukrtechmash is and hit them.
hit them hard.
Yeah, and sometime later I can see that someone already found the information about founders of this organization. They give their details. Ukraine, if you can read the comments, it's down. It's in English also, yeah? You can translate.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody said these are most likely so-called dirty bombs. Symptoms are similar to radiation sickness. You need to check the background as soon as possible. Otherwise, many guys are at risk of being irradiated.
Yeah, Gorlovka area, that's maybe 50 kilometers from Donetsk.
Yeah, someone says that we had a chat. It's on the 9th of October. Had a chat with our friend or comrade who is right now in hospital, and he is not the only one who is there with this.
Okay.
So this is extremely reliable information. I mean, of course, everything on the internet could be fake. You know, I mean, you have to take it with a grain of salt, but this is from a very reliable, multiple reliable sources. And I mean, the thing that you have to do when you see information on the internet is you have to think with your mind and also with your heart and ask yourself, could they do it? Yes, they could. Would they do it if they could? Yes, they would. You know, I mean, so the chances that this is real is pretty high. And I would say that, you know, this is a warning for everybody. I mean, from, you know, the top of the Kremlin on down to the soldiers in the trenches to the civilians behind the line, you know, that, you know, we have to understand that the people that are our enemies, that are attacking us, you know, which is the West, U.S., NATO, the Ukrainian Nazis, Banderistas, you know, these guys will do anything. I mean, we've already seen like the torture videos, the murder of civilians, the horrific stuff that's been done. You know, so there's no depth that these guys won't sink to. And so, you know, we have to understand and we have to act accordingly.
Yeah.
Russia really has to, you know, take the gloves off. I mean, we made a good start with Surovikin. He's a guy that I like.
Surovikin.
Yeah, Surovikin. You know, Kadyrov likes him, and who Kadyrov likes, I like. Alexander Sladkov, another probably the greatest Russian war correspondent, has been also encouraged by the changes that have been made. But we need to keep moving. We really need to maintain the initiative in this war through conventional means. I mean, just because the Ukrainians might have used a dirty bomb against our soldiers, of course they've used chemical and biological weapons already too, but we don't have to respond in kind. We just need to win this war by conventional means, and the sooner the better. You know?
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, and it's, you know, some clowns have said that I would, you know, have made defeatist comments, and of course that's absolutely not true. What I do say is that, you know, we're in a situation of victory or death. That's the only two choices we have. So let's make it victory.
Yeah. Yeah. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And, you know, we've seen these types of tactics used by the United States in the past. For instance, Syria, right? I mean, everybody who is in Syria that I know absolutely believes that it was the United States
that did the false flag,
that did the false flag bombing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really, I mean, and false flags, you know, they go all the way back, you know, as far as, you know, the Lusitania in World War I, you know, I mean, they said, oh, the Germans' U-boats bombed a civilian ocean liner, but it was, you know, and then, you know, 100 years, 50 years later, they go down and divers go down and, oh, the whole thing was filled with ammunition, you know?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
You know, you could say the Gulf of Tonkin, you could say, you know, 9/11, you could say the Iraqi WMDs. I mean,
Yeah, this is all stuff made up by the United States.
you know, deception is a weapon, you know, and so, you know, of course, our weapon as journalists, as the good guys on the side of humanity, on the side of God, you know, the truth is our weapon.